you look at it and you look at the window that we've had. We've got Kota Takai in, we've got Mohamed Kudus in, and those two signings kind of in isolation, I think are really good signings for us. I think Kudus moves the needle for us in terms of the front line and or at right wing. Kota Takai, like if we would have signed him or not signed him, I don't really think it kind of moves the needle. But it's like I think he's a good player and I think he's got a big future ahead of him. But it's just another one of those kind of signings. But
Vuskovic could be ahead of him right now.
Yeah, 100%. So look, I have no problem with the Vuskovic, with the Kota Takai signing. But I don't think we can use it as being like, look, we're going places and we're going to really, you know, push the boat out for next season. We're going to be challenging the top four and whatever. When you're looking at our business right now, well, we're sitting here 27th of July. We're about to go on tour in a few days' time. The Super Cup is in 2.5 weeks or something, 3 weeks' time.
Of August.
Yeah, so it's very, very close. Not much has changed in terms of this window. Everyone's talking about this investment. There's this, there's that. We're going to push the boat out this summer. Not much has progressed this summer. Well, that's the reality.
Because we've been stuck on this deal for the last 2 weeks. I don't know if this decision from Gibbs-White has taken Tottenham by surprise or not, or if this is something that maybe they heard was happening and they've already moved on. I doubt it. I reckon they were expecting this to go through and they were expecting it to, you know, we didn't hear any suggestion, did we, that we didn't think this was going to happen eventually and Tottenham would get their man. But clearly, obviously, that deal's dead now and we have to very quickly move on. But the problem is we've now potentially fallen behind for other players. You know, could we have gone quicker for Eze if this deal wasn't in the pipeline? You know, there's potentially other players looking in that position that we could have gone for. So we're in a bit of trouble now. Clearly, we wanted at least 2 players in before the tour, and I think we were earmarking Gibbs-White as one of those players. So the fact that he's not going to be there now is a massive blow. And when it comes to who do we go for now, and also it puts a lot of other clubs on alert who we're looking to buy from, because they know we're willing to spend 60 million essentially in our budget on one player potentially in that position. So any club we go to now, if we're looking for a player in that position within reason, they'll know that we had that 60 million bid. Well, we were going to sign Gibbs-White for 60 million. So does that put us in a weaker position from a negotiation standpoint when these clubs are demanding more money? That's obviously a big problem. If it was Gibbs-White that we earmarked, are we looking for a similar profile to Gibbs-White? How many profiles of players like him are there that we're looking for? That's also quite a big issue, I would say. I mean, someone like maybe Jacob Ramsey, but Ramsey's not like, as good as him at all. I don't know. He's quite a unique profile, Gibbs-White, a very good ball carrier who can play in the 10, play in different positions, very hard worker off the ball, but also very good in like transition and really quick passer. It's going to be tough to replace, to go with an alternative for someone like Gibbs-White if that was the kind of profile we're looking for. So I don't know. I mean, Eze, is he still on course for Arsenal? That's gone very quiet. If we're willing to spend 60 million on Gibbs-White, are we willing to spend 68 on Eze? Is that something we're willing to do?
Eze's going to go to Arsenal.
I know, but it's gone quiet, I'm saying, at the moment. I don't know what's going on there.
Well, it's just piped up again in the last 24 hours.
Who's been... I haven't seen it.
I think Romano's been talking about it and a few other people have been talking about it. It's going to happen.
Okay, so if that's out the door, then I don't know where we go. Like, in terms of Prem proven, if that was what we're looking for. Because we were talking about before we signed Kudus, right? That the players are getting snapped up quickly. These players who are from gettable teams who are Prem proven. Obviously, Gibbs-White we didn't even know was an option, and he turned out to be one, but now he's off the table. So if we are going to go for a Prem proven player, obviously João Palhinha, but he's a number 6. He's not Gibbs-White's position. I don't really know what kind of player. If Eze's off the table, what kind of attacking player in a similar position to Gibbs-White is possible? We'd probably have to start looking outside the Premier League.
For me, it's so frustrating as well because you're seeing like all these players, right, really pushing for moves. And it was clear to see that Gibbs-White did want to move. He agreed personal terms with Man City the back end of last season. He's literally agreed personal terms with us 3 weeks ago. Why didn't he push for a move? What has Marinakis got over him so much? Like, where's the backbone from Gibbs-White? Like, if he really wants to move, why not actually like push the boat out and try and make the move happen? Like, everything was done. He was about to come for us with a medical. Like, it was clear that he doesn't want to stay there. Why is he signing this contract? Like, I just don't understand the whole situation. Like, did he use us actually just to get this bigger contract? Like, could that be a situation?
I think, well, look, my theory is Marinakis is threatening him with legal action over the a break of the discretion clause in the release clause fee, and that there was a lack of what's the word? I can't remember. A lack of not discretion, but keeping it secret. I can't remember what the word is, but I think he breached that clause. And I think,
and if he's found guilty of it, and Marinakis takes legal action, then what's going to happen? What, he gets a fine?
I don't know maybe, I don't know. I've never heard of anything happening like that before.
He's not going to go to jail, is he? So you're like,
not jail, but it's a breach of the clause.
So is he going to get? He's going to get a fine. He'll get a fine. You know what I mean? That's it.
I don't know. I don't know what the punishment is.
So why is he so scared about this? Like, why is it so? Why is he so scared about breaking an NDA? Like, if he's going to move on from Marinakis and join Spurs, then what's there to be scared of? Like, I just don't get it.
I couldn't tell you that. I don't know what
Surely the maximum is he'll get a fine.
Probably how big that fine is, I don't know. And you could say Tottenham could pay it, but I don't know if they're willing to pay that. I don't know the ins and outs, but I think that's the only real thing I can think has happened here, to be honest. I don't think because I think that the medical was planned. I don't think we triggered that release clause without Morgan Gibbs-White's go ahead. I think we had the go ahead. I don't think Gibbs-White expected Marinakis and Forest Park such a fight, and I think Marinakis turned to them and said, "You breached this clause. By revealing this release clause, I'm going to prove it. Essentially, now either you sign this new contract and we can forget this ever happened, or if you make this move." I'm going to take you all the way with these court battles and legal issues, and it's going to make your life a living hell. I think that's probably something that kind of conversation happened.
And to be honest, with what he's going through right now with his family and his personal stuff, it's probably just something he doesn't need at this moment in time.
Exactly. And I think clearly over the 2 weeks, maybe Gibbs-White was trying to mediate this situation, and probably Marinakis and probably Tottenham were both being stubborn. Tottenham probably saying, "Look, we're not paying anymore." Marinakis saying, "Look, if you do this, then this is going to be I'm going to make it a nightmare for you, essentially." And so I think Gibbs-White probably just felt, "Look, I'll stay another year, I'll get a massive pay rise, and maybe next summer I can get the move." But then if it's true they've taken the release clause out of his contract, which apparently has happened, then it's going to be very difficult for him to make a move unless he doesn't have a good season, and then all of a sudden he might be available for the fee we're talking about.
Yeah. So look, it is very frustrating on the Morgan Gibbs-White thing because of how sure we were of him coming through the doors at this club. It is a kick in the teeth because it goes from signing Kudus and Gibbs-White in the space of 24 hours, and you're thinking, all right, Spurs are really pushing the bow out here. Spurs are really going place. We're really having a go at it this summer. To like now, it felt like a difference. When now it just feels like just kind of more of the same, really. Because every year we sign a player for like 50, 60 million, and then we just sprinkle a bit of youngsters around them. So we have to act fast. Now we have to act fast.
I definitely see a lot of people not in this chat as well, but also I've seen a lot of social media, the growing sentiment again about Daniel Levy and have we been Levied, all these different things. Obviously, we spoke about that a few days ago, and the feeling was no, but I guess at that point we still felt like the deal was going to go through. So is it because it didn't go through? Is the feeling changed around him and what he's done with this deal? Do we put blame on Levy for what's happened here?
I don't put specific blame on Levy for this specific deal of not getting over the line, but if this is all we do and we bring in, let's say, a João Palhinha and Kudus, and that's it from now to the end of the window, then I won't be happy with that window, and I will be pointing fingers. But look, I thought at the moment in time when we were getting Kudus and Gibbs-White and we were going to get a few more on top of that, then that would be a significant change into the way we're doing our business. But if we do bring in a João Palhinha for like 20 million and Kudus for 60 and Kota Takai, then it is just more of the same, and it's not the real kind of push that we need, in my opinion. Don't forget that all the business that we need to do of getting people out the door as well. So there's so much business to do still from now to the end of the window. We're just over a month to go now until the end, and you're talking about getting 9 to 10 players out the door, including getting 2, 3, hopefully 4 players through the door. I just can't see that happening.
The question is, if we felt like that this Gibbs-White, like we've earmarked him, we think this guy we really need in the team, he's perfect for us, like he's the player we want, do we wait a year for him, or do we just move on and say, look, try to get him, didn't get him, let's get a new player in, and we have to find an alternative now? Because I guess that's the approach, because there's no guarantees you get him next summer anyway. And
No,
you
we
just
have to find an alternative now. Gibbs-White's gone. It's in the past. That's it. We have to find an alternative, and we have to find one quick. Surely, look, what have they been doing for the last 3 weeks? Like, we've literally wasted so much time in these last 3 weeks assuming that Morgan Gibbs-White's going to come. We heard that the sentiment from inside the club, like, this deal's going to get over the line. So were they even drawing up, like, did they even have kind of alternative targets to their mind? I don't know. Surely they'd have a list even before they went for Gibbs-White. So hopefully they can just work further down that list. But it needs to happen now. Like, they're going on tour in a few days' time. We never do deals when we're on tour. Like, I'm starting to get worried that we're not even going to bring someone in ahead of instead of Gibbs-White. Like, we got a number 6.
There's still over a month left of the window.
That's what I'm saying. It's not that long though. Over a month for all the business that we need to get done.
Yeah, I know, but it's enough to sign an alternative to Gibbs-White.
Fine, it's enough to sign an alternative to Gibbs-White, but on top of all the other business that we need to do, like, where is that going to be in the priority list now? Because we've got so much other, like, business to do, like all these players that need to go, all the number 6 that needs to come in, like any other players that we need to do to fill some other holes. If Sonny's going to go, we need to bring in another left winger as well.
I would say, given that the Gibbs-White deal was one of our priorities, I'm assuming an alternative to him will also be quite high up. That's what I'd assume.
But was the Gibbs-White like that priority because they got a wind of his release clause? And they'll be like, you know what, he's going to fit the squad really well. Let's get that deal done now. Or did they go into it thinking that's the position that we really need to target?
I don't know.
I think it was probably more the former than the latter.
Knowing Levy, probably, because he's an opportunist.
That's what I'm saying.
So it could be true, but it could also be the latter. It's hard to know. But yeah, I think if you go by Levy's nature, he's an opportunist. He likes an opportunistic deal. He probably heard about this and then went for it. And maybe you're right. Maybe it wasn't a massive priority, but it was just an opportunity. That's definitely possible. But if we are looking for alternatives, who are we thinking? I don't even know where to start.
I think we probably go for someone like Harvey Elliott. That's what I think we do.
Elliott.
Which is a downgrade, massive downgrade. I think Harvey Elliott's a good player. He's got a good future ahead of him. But when you're talking about the stature of what Morgan Gibbs-White is in the game, up for Player of the Year last season, the age he's at, the amount of Premier League of years of experience that he's got, it's a step down. And I want to go for more of the calibre and experience of a Gibbs-White more than a player that's up and coming like a Harvey White. Harvey Elliott.
Could we generally try our luck with Paquetá?
Mate, that would be insane. If we could go get two West Ham players this summer, that would be crazy.
Sure they wouldn't deal with us
nah, surely not.
Do they need to get rid of him? I don't know.
Don't know. He's just been cleared of all his charges.
Yeah. So where does that leave him, I guess, with West Ham? Because he didn't have a great year last year, but clearly the whole thing was affecting him. Now that's out of the way. They were clearly willing to do deals, and they nearly sold him to City, didn't they? That was now probably 2 years ago. But would they be willing to do a deal?
Probably not. Probably not.
Well, with us or with anyone?
Probably with us.
With us, you're right.
After the Kudus thing, I just can't see it. I really can't see it. Another one of their top players coming to us. As much as I would love it, and I think Paquetá will be brilliant. He's such a good player. Have so much time for him, but I can't see that one. The only kind of player I see us go, I don't see us going for a player in the same stature of Gibbs-White. I see us going for more of an up and coming, like a Harvey Elliott. Maybe if we're lucky, like a Nico Pats or someone like that. Like, I don't know. I can't even think of someone of the same, apart from Morgan Gibbs-White and Lucas Paquetá. Who else is there? Mikkel Damsgaard, but he's not the same.
Yeah, could we go for Damsgaard? Frank knows him. He had a great season last season. Is he one that maybe
there is no chance they're letting Damsgaard go. No chance. They don't even want to let Wissa go, and Wissa's probably going to end up going. So you're telling me in one summer they're going to lose 5 coaching staff members, they're going to lose their manager, they're going to lose Mbeumo, Wissa, Norgard, Flecken. Like, it's surely not.
Yeah, they probably make it more difficult. Obviously, there's someone in the comments here, Scorpion Fans for Life, saying alternatives for Gibbs-White: Eze, Xavi Simons, Cockchu, Nico Pats, and Fratesi. Obviously, Simons now seems like he's off to Chelsea.
Well, yeah, Simons going to Chelsea. Eze's going to Arsenal.
Cockchu, obviously, he's a good player, Cockchu, but I don't mind him, but I don't know if he's the answer. Nico Pats, I like him a lot. Fratesi, I don't know if he's the player we need, Fratesi, although he's decent. I don't know if we can get any of those players, to be honest.
Yeah. So like it's slim pickings right now. It really is slim
If you're
pickings.
looking like in the Prem, yes, I'm trying to. I think in the Prem, like number 10's in the Prem. I can't think of too many that kind of 10s or kind of 8.5. There's Jacob Ramsey. We've all spoken about. Maybe
which we do have a long-standing interest in.
We do. So maybe he's one we kind of go for. I think he's quite similar to Gibbs-White in a few ways. Probably like Gibbs-White's a lot better. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's really tough looking at realistic options. We're not going to get anyone out.
But regardless of whether it's that position, right, it's important that Spurs go big now in this month and a half because we need some significant players through the door. Whether it's a number 10, a number 6, cover at left back, a left winger if Sonny goes, and it looks like he is going at this moment in time. Like, we just need big players to come through and just to beef up this squad. I know the squad's already big, but I'm talking about beefing up and improving that first 11. We need to improve the first 11.
Yeah, it's going to be... Yeah, it's just such a blow when a player like that was willing to come when we thought we had it over the line. So are we now going to be left disappointed by any alternative? That's the worry, I guess.
It's not so much about the alternative for me. It's about who else we bring on top of it. Like, yes, of course, I want someone of the same level of Gibbs-White. Well, we're not going to bring in someone of the same level of Gibbs-White. Like, that's just not going to happen because there isn't a player out there that's gettable. I think that's the same level as Gibbs-White. I just don't think that player is out there. So we need to push the boat out and bring in players that can improve our first 11 at left wing, in the number 6 position. These kind of positions that we desperately need. Like, the number 10 is not a desperation for us right now. We got Kulusevski. I know he's injured, but he's going to be back at some point. And we got Maddison. We've got players for the number 10, but we don't have anyone for the 6. We don't have anyone that can take up the mantle and get the same kind of goal contributions as Sonny gets for us consistently. That's what we don't have. And I would prefer we spend the big money in those positions than we do in the number 10.
So could it be a blessing in disguise the Gibbs-White deal fell through?
No, because Gibbs-White, we were told that we were going to get Gibbs-White plus these other players.
Yeah, I doubt we were going to spend big on all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, if Paulini is, that's not a massive deal to do when it comes to money if we get him. Left winger, if we want someone who's going to take up Son's mantle, you're going to have to spend big. Yeah, agreed. So maybe, to be fair, could we have done Gibbs-White and a big left winger? I'd like to think we could. And then Paulini on top of that. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this affects our actual business. Does it mean we don't get a 10 now? Like, for example, when I say, like, wait for Gibbs-White, like, I remember, who was it? I think Liverpool, when they spent a whole summer going after Van Dijk and they didn't get him. And instead of just signing an alternative, they said, all right, we'll wait for him. And I think in that same January, they went and signed him and put the money on the table and said, all right, we're going to get him now. So, like, is that something we could do for Gibbs-White, do you think?
No.
Like, you don't think it's worth doing? Do you think it's possible doing that?
No, it's look, I don't mind if we were to do it, but first of all, dealing with Marinakis again next summer after what he's done this summer.
January.
Or in January. Like, it's going to cost like nearly double the money to get him out of Nottingham Forest now. Like, there is no chance we can go back in for him and get him for 60 million. And I don't see Spurs going 80, 90 million. 100 million. However much Marinakis is probably a premium on Spurs now. So, no, I don't think that's a situation. Like the Van Dijk thing is a completely different kettle of fish. Like, Liverpool have such a great relationship with Southampton. They were taking players with them every year.
We signed Brennan, though, not so long ago.
Yeah, we did sign Brennan not long ago, but we're not taking a Forest player every single season.
No, but obviously it's more because I think it was very...
Southampton were like Liverpool's feeder club at some point.
It was very telling, wasn't it? Well, why did it was very difficult for them to get Van Dijk out of them that summer, though, wasn't it? That's why, but they ended up doing it. But it was very telling. Marinakis, in his statement, said this is a statement to all other Premier League clubs, essentially towards Tottenham. This is a statement talking about to all other Premier League clubs that if you're going to do things in the right manner, do things in the right way. And we're not in the business of losing our best players, but we only allow players to leave in the right way. And that was clearly him just talking directly to Tottenham, saying, this is, you shouldn't have done this, essentially. You shouldn't have gone behind our backs and gone for the release clause. And this is what you get, essentially. Yeah. So that would tell me I agree. That's why I think we just got to have to look for an alternative. because I don't see Gibbs-White still being an option in the short term. And even in a year's time, it's going to be very difficult. No guarantees that we can make that happen. So there's no point waiting around for him.
Yeah, exactly. So look, I think just over a month to go, a lot of business to do. We just got to hope and pray that Johan Lang is actually working in the shadows, working in the darkness, and going to get us something over the line, and some significant signings over the line. Having said that, though, I was still thinking about it yesterday. Even with the squad that we've got now, minus Gibbs-White, I still think that we do have a decent chance still to finish fifth.
Yeah,
like, you look at Newcastle without Isak. It looks like he's off. Like, there's no reason why we can't compete with them. There's no reason why we can't compete with Aston Villa.
They're not signing anyone at the moment, are they?
No. So I think the only problem is the top four are just getting further and further and further away. That's what the issue is right now.
But I think that fifth is well up for grabs. Obviously, it's hard to say that after a day we drew with 2 League One sides in a day.
Pre-season.
I know exactly, but people will use that and say, look how far off we are. And we were poor, don't get me wrong. And you want to see better than that, even in pre-season. But irrelevant to that, it is pre-season. Results don't really matter. It's all about building fitness and all that kind of stuff. If you look at the players we got at the moment, we got a lot of very good players that you could easily get into the teams that we're looking to compete with. And I think Villa, they're in Europa League and, very reliant on Watkins. If he gets a big injury, I don't know what they do. They don't have Duran this season to bail them out. A lot of what he did a lot of the times last season in the first half of the season. They're not signing big players at the moment, Aston Villa. So I think their squad's going to be stretched thin as well again next season with less talent. They're not going to have Rashford and Asensio again as well. They're not going to have those two players who really gave them a little boost in the second half of the season. As you say, Newcastle, obviously, if Isaac leaves, I'll have to spend that money. But I look at their.
They're talking about Sesko, aren't they?
They've got a good team, but also I think they've got a very good first 11. And beyond that, their squad is not as good. And they weren't in Europe last year. They're going to be in Europe this season. So I think I'm not saying we're guaranteed to finish above them, but I think we can very much compete with them. There's no reason why I'm looking at thinking they're this kind of team. There's no chance we finish above. I don't look at that and think that.
Yeah,
I think we can easily compete with them.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
And all the other teams are getting stripped of a lot of their talent, albeit fair play to Forest. They kept Gibbs-White now, so I can't say too much about them. Although they have sold Alanga, all the other teams, Brentford, Bournemouth, Brighton, all losing a lot of their best players. So there's no reason why we should be looking at those situations and think, we can't finish above them. We should be aiming to finish above them, and we should be disappointed if we don't. So, for sure, if you look at even with our squad now with no more additions, we've got a lot of depth at the moment, and I think we should be aiming for that top 5, 100%. Yeah. I don't know if we're favourites. I'd probably still put maybe Newcastle as favourites in the moment, but there's no reason why we can't surprise a few people.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at what impact, though, Isaac had last season. Like, he was the best striker in the Premier League last season. Without him, I think they're going to go down levels next season, Newcastle. Like, if Sesko, for me, is not a direct replacement for Isaac, what Isaac brought them last season. And, yeah, Sesko's a good player, and it'll be good for them in the long run. But I think it'll take him a bit of an adjustment period to get used to the Premier League. So I don't think Newcastle are going to be as good next season as they were.
Get Sesko.
Yeah.
I agree. I think they were so reliant on Isaac. Isaac would do things by himself. They'll be on a counter, just give the ball to Isaac, and he would somehow just make that magic work. That is so hard to find. Mm-hmm. I really do think that. And I think there's going to be a few players for Tottenham. Hopefully, Frank will profile them a bit different. You'll see a different level of them. Obviously, there's big question marks for us as well, though. Son, Romero, we have to see what their future holds, and that could obviously change my thinking if we let them go and seeing who depends on who we replace them with. But right now, as the squad stands, I think we're in a better position. I think the people are blinded by that 17th place finish and think this is the true level of the players. It isn't. This is a very talented squad who first won a European trophy last season. And I think we'll be in a much better position next season. I really believe that, and I think a lot of players will show a different level. So I think I want more additions. Don't get me wrong, because I want to put us in a stronger position going into the season. But I don't think our squad's in a really bad position. I really don't. I think we've got a lot of depth in a lot of places. Obviously, we need additions. Don't get me wrong, but.
Got a lot of depth in certain positions, but we've also got not much depth in some positions as well.
Fullback, not so much. Centre mid, we have a lot. Like, it's differences. But, yeah, I'm still looking excited about a lot of these players, but it's hard to say this after what we saw yesterday because there's not much to be excited about yesterday, that's for sure.
Yeah, but look, it's a few pre-seasons. Look, what people got to remember about these pre-seasons, especially the first few, they're literally just to get the fitness up. That's what it is. And I think a lot of the players clearly needed it because in the first half, when we played 35 minutes, they were okay in the first game, and then second game they were just shot to pieces. So I think we'll learn a lot more in terms of the coming pre-seasons against the Arsenals, Newcastles and Bayern Munich. Let's see how we are against them. Like the first three were terrible. Let's just hope we can show more in the next three.
Yeah. That's going to be, people are going to definitely make some judgments. But let's just hope we compete and, we look good. Well, I'm not expecting wins or needing wins. It doesn't really matter whether we win or not, but it's how we're playing.
Thursday, we need a win.
Yeah, Thursday we need a win. That one we need a win. The other ones, I'm not looking at winning or not. It's just about looking like we can compete.
Yeah.
And that's one.
I guarantee you, if we win on Thursday, everyone's going to be buzzing for Frank.
Gyökeres is a flop. Kudus is the next big thing. It's going to be fantastic. Yeah.
But look, like I said, a month and a bit to go. We got some significant business still to do. I question, how much of it we are actually going to do with the outgoings that we need to do as well. And I'll judge everything at the end of the window, but I am getting very concerned about the state of our transfer window right now. I really am. But look, that's that. That is that. We got a few super chats to get into before we finish.